In the name of God, hello class. We continue the course. In previous section, we explained about the permutation representation, and we explained about some version of crossover. The first version is order 1 crossover that in this method each parent, we have two parents. We select a part of these parents randomly and copy the selected part from the first parent into the first children or first offspring, and we fill another and empty locations by order 1 crossover method. In this method, we start from this location, and if this value is not exist in previous copy values, we put this value to the location of the children. And the second value is 4, but 4 exists, then we beginning from the first location. The other value is 9, we fill it 9, then 3, we fill it by 3. When we reach the end, we go to the beginning. Then we reach to the 7, but 7 exists before, then we reach 8, and then we reach 2, and all of the values put to the offspring or to the gene of the children. It is a first children. For the second children, we have the same method, but we change the parent 1 and parent 2. We copy the value from parent 2 and fill another empty location from parent 1. It is named as order 1 crossover. Another version of permutation for crossover is named as a partially mapped crossover. It is a long explanation, and we explain it by a method. In the PMX crossover method, both for the two parents, we select a part from this parent and copy this part into the first children, such as previous method of crossover. But for filling other locations, we use PMX method. We start from this location of the second parent. If we see this location is filled before it is filled by 4, so we follow the location 4 and put 8 in this location. Then we go to the next value 2. 2 is filled by 5. We continue. Also this location is filled here. It is 7. Go to the out of this and fill this location by 2. It is a second value. And 6 is filled by itself, and 5 also exists in this location, and For the remain values, for the remain values that exist in out of this location, we fill it from the second parent. So in the PMX, the only technique exists for these values 8, 2, 6, and 5. 5 and 6 exist. 8 continue and locate here. 2 continue until locate outside of this area. It is 2. Another values put from other side of second parent. It is named as a PMX method. Another version of crossover for permutation representation is named as a cycle crossover. If we have two parents, parent 1 and parent 2, we put this two parent under each, and we have a cycle. For example, a cycle of 1, 1, 9, 4, 8, and also 1. So this cycle exists 1, 9, I continue 1, then 9, then 4, 4, then 8, and 8, and we reach the 1. It is one cycle. The other cycle, other color, white color, is 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 7, 5, 2, 3, 7, and also 5, and also reach to 2, and also 6 have only one value cycle. So in this method we select one of these cycle, this or this. In this example, this cycle is selected for cycle crossover for permutation. So we use this. In this method, we select one of the cycle randomly. For example, we select here, and all of other values copy in the same location, such as 1, 4, 6, 8, and 9. These values of other cycles copy to the children, but for the values belong to the cycle, selected cycle, it is a selected cycle. We can select this, but in this example we select this cycle 2, 3, 7, and 5. For this cycle, for the first children, we copy the next of the value in the cycle instead of each value. For example, 3 exists next of 2. 2 replaced by 3. Each value replaced by the next value. 2 replaced by 3. 3 replaced by 7. 5 replaced by 2, it is the next value of 5, and 7 replaced by 5. For the second children, each value replaced by previous value. For 3 replaced by 2 here, 7 replaced by 3 here, 2 replaced by 5 here, it is a previous value, and 5 replaced by 7. It is named as a cycle value. The last value, the last permutation crossover is named as edge crossover or edge recombination. If we have two parents, for example, these two parents that select by parent selection, first of all, we have a table. This table has two parts, but because of long table, we separate this table into parts. But it is better to have a long table. For each element, we write a neighborhood. For example, each element neighborhood of first and end. For neighborhood of 4 is 1 and 9, and neighborhood of 1 is, for example, 2 and 9, because it is a cycle, such a cycle. So we fill this table by the neighborhood of each or edge of each element. For example, 1 has this neighborhood 1 and 2, 1 and 9, and here 1 have a one has a edge or neighborhood of 2 and 9 and 4 and 5. 2, 9, 4 and 5. Or for example, 6 have 5, 7, 2 and 5 neighborhood. 5, 7, 2. The 5 repeat, so we have a common edge. It is sign of common edge in this algorithm. We fill this table, so for the producing the offspring or for the crossover to generate offspring or children, we must use edge recombination. In this method, at the first we select a random of one of these gene. For example, 1 is selected. It is selected by random. 1 have this edge 2, 5, 4 and 9. 2 with 4 element edge, 5 with 3 element edge, 4 with 4 element edge, and 9 with 4 element edge. 5 is selected because it is the shortest list. It has the lowest number, the smallest number of edge. It have 3 edge, but other values have 4 edge. So we select 5. Each time we select a value, this value must remove from the table. For example, at the first step, 1 is selected, so 1 must remove. The second, 5 is selected, so 5 must remove from the table. And 5, we go to the next step. 5 have this edge, 4 and 6, but 6 have a common edge, so we select this value with common edge. So this third value is 6. We remove 6 from the table because it is selected, and 6 have this neighborhood 2 and 7. 5 removed before, so we have to value 2 and 7. 2 have 2 edge and 7 have 2 edge. Both of them are equal, so if we random one of these value 2 and 7, so select the 2 by random. 2 is removed from the table, and etc. And we continue to have this neighborhood 3 and 8. It is a 3 and it is 8. 8 has a shortest edge, so 8 is selected. Then remove 8 from the table. 8 has this neighborhood 7 and 9. 7 and 9. 7 has a common edge, so it is selected for the next, and it removed from the table. 7 have this neighborhood. Only one neighborhood remain 3, so we must select 3 and remove 3 from the table. And 3, you see that have two element, 4 and 9. 4 and 9 only have one neighborhood, so we select one of them randomly. For example, we select 9 and the remain value is 4. It is the offspring that produced by edge recombination crossover. If you attention to this 4 crossover method, this method is more complicated or more step than previous method. So it has more exploit, and it is exploit, and it has the highest exploit and lowest explore. Explore is such a risk or change. Edge recombination change a smaller change than, for example, cycle, and cycle change smaller than PMX, and PMX change smaller than order 1. So order 1 make more change or more explore in the parent, and the children have more different than their parent. But the edge recombination, the children is more similar to their parent. These 4 types of crossover are used for permutation representation. So we explain. Multiparent recombination is explain about more than two parents. In the nature, each time two parents, the gene of two parents are combined and the children are produced, such as the computer programming, such as EC algorithm. But it is not general or common to mix the gene of, for example, more than three parents to produce children. It does not exist in uh, nature, and also in the computer programming it don't uh, provide a good result, and it is better to use two parents and combine the gene of two parents, not more than two parents, for crossover. Another explanation is about the population model. The change in the population is a population model. We have some types of population model, such as generational model and steady state model. In the generational model, all of the parents removed or replaced by the children, such as the nature. In the nature, all of the old man and woman died and the children remain or survive. It is named as a generational model. All of the previous population replaced by the new generation. It is named as a generational model. So the the gap of the generational model is 1, because the gap is the number of change in the population divided by number of population. It is named as a generation gap, or difference between previous and next generation. It is maximum of gap, and it's equal to 1, because all of the parents replaced by all of the children. But in the steady state model, only one parent remove or die and one children replace, and other parents exist. The gap is 1 divided by population size. For example, if you have 1,000 parents, only one parent removed or replaced by a children, and the gap of generation is 1 divided by 1,000. In the steady state model, the population change slightly, very slightly, but in the generational model, the population change entirely. Another part of the explanation is about fitness. Fitness-based competition is a method to select the better individual for the next population. And one of the method is based of age, such as generational, or based of fitness. In the fitness method, we don't attention to the parent or to the children. We select the more fitness individual. For example, if parents have more fitness, it select. If children have more fitness, it select for the next generation. It is based of fitness, not based of age. In the previous section, we explained about the Rollet wheel selection method. It is a roulette that share the probability according to the fitness of each value. For example, value A, value B, value C, and value D. In this method, we want to select, for example, four element for the population, and we share the roulette by the fitness. We divide each fitness of each element to summation of fitness, and we round the roulette, for example, 4 times, and we select the next generation or next element. It is named as a roulette wheel selection. But another version of this method is named as a SUS. SUS is better than RWS because in RWS the probability of selection of C is more than, for example, B, but it is random. It may select it, for example, the worst or the lowest fitness value, such as B, for the 4 times for the next generation, but we change the RWS into the SUS to guarantee to remain good element for the next generation, and it is the probability of it is a number of minimum or maximum number of each element when it is the expectation or the probability of each element multiplied by the n. In SUS we have n or 4 sign instead of 1 sign, and we round the roulette 1 times, and each time when for example this roulette, for example, if you have this roulette for example, we have 3 sign with the same distance. It is possible to select C elements, for example, 2 times, such as this, and B for 1 times, and A is not selected. Or it is possible to select A, such as here, B and C. This method guarantees that the good value remain in the population. It is named as a SUS algorithm. It is a fitness proportionate selection. We have 2 methods, RWS and SUS. And we continue the explanation for this uh, fitness proportionate selection in the next section.